Welcome to Chapter 1, Part 6, Picturing Distributions with Graphs. And we're going to continue on with pie charts, how we represent discrete variables, their distribution. We did bar graphs, and now we're doing pie charts. So we were saying if we did a pie chart by hand, how would we find out the measures of the angles, and how would we do this? We'd need a protractor and a compass to do all of this. So hopefully this will make you appreciate MINITAB, because you're not going to have to use a protractor and a compass. You're just going to use MINITAB to make a pie chart. So let's look at our blood type example and see how we would do this. Well, with our blood type, here's our frequency table, and we know how to get the relative frequency. We just say 18 divided by 50 to get our relative frequency. That gives us 0.36 or 36%. Then to find the relative frequency of people that have blood type AB, that would be 4 out of 50. And we do the same for the B and the O. So there we have our relative frequency column. So to find the degree measure of our slice of pie, we're just going to take 0.36 and multiply it by 360. So we would take 0.36 times 360, that's 129.6 degrees. And we'd round that to 130. For the AB, 0.08, that was its relative frequency, so 0.08 of 360 degrees is 28.8, so we round that to 29. So a slice that has a 29-degree angle would be what we would see for the AB. So that's how we would find those angles, and then we'd use our compass and protractor to make this pie chart. But there's a much easier way using MINITAB. Now, practices with pie charts. Category slices. They should be in different colors or different patterns so you can distinguish between the categories, and each category should be labeled with the category name and relative frequency. Typically you get that as a percent. The overall graph should have a meaningful title identifying the qualitative variable or the categorical variable. Remember, it can be named either one, whose distribution is being graphed. It's going to be the same title basically as the bar graph. Not effective if there are too many categories. So if for some relative frequencies are too small, it's not good to use a pie chart, or if you have too many categories. So you may have to combine categories in order to make the pie chart meaningful. So it's time to bring up our MINITAB again and see how to do a pie chart. If we look in our folder for making a bar graph and a pie chart, the second half of that is about the pie chart, and there are the commands. So again, you could copy and paste this so that you don't have to retype all this, or you could retype it. That's one way. So I go into here, and I paste those commands. And since this is the exact example here, I have the pie chart and then the name. But remember, I'm going to change the title now since I have it here of 50 patients. This is saying that I want the percent category. I want to see the categories, and I want it on the labeling on the slices. So I hit enter, and voila, I come out with a really nice pie chart. It has great titles. It's got the percentage with each of the different blood types, and they tell us what they mean. So that the red is someone having A blood type. So if you even want to go in here, you could change titles in here or names on the ledger here, on the font, and in here, if you press it just right. So I can now say I want A blood type, or even patient with A blood type. You know, if I wanted to change the names on these categories, again, you just go there, make sure you tap it, and again. Okay, that's how you can change those. You could also change the labels once you get in here, right here. So going in there, you could say again, patient type. However, you want to do the labels. And so you can change things around even after the fact. Now, this is one of those cases where there might be too much because you can't, it's going over there, so it may just behoove you to keep it as simple as possible if it's clear enough. And I think it would be clear enough with just the A, B, B, and O. But whatever, you can do what you need to do. So again, there you have some titles, and you'll put your own personal stamp on these things. So what would happen if without using the commands, I could use the drop-down commands right here. So I could say graph, I want to do a pie chart, and the blood type, and then hit OK. Now, I could have went into Pi Options and changed things. I'm just showing you this is the default of MINITAB. And you can add things on here. Again, you right-click on your mouse, and you'd say, I want to add. And what do you want to add? Let's say I want to add the slice labels. I want the category name and the percent, just so that it looks like the other chart that I did. And I hit OK. And now I can put in the title that I wanted. Distribution of blood types. And I can type. So I have my title, and I hit OK. So there you have how to do a pie chart in MINITAB. So if you go to your PowerPoint, you'll see the commands that I used, but again, they're also in your MINITAB command file folder. And there'll be another place where you can look to get help on MINITAB. Many different places to get help in MINITAB. And here's the generalized formula for doing the pie chart. So here's the summary for categorical data. Categorical or qualitative data can be organized in several ways. Tables are useful for listing the data, its frequencies and its relative frequencies. Charts such as bar graphs, Pareto charts, and pie charts are very useful visual methods for organizing data. And remember, the Pareto chart is nothing more than a bar chart put in increasing order. Side-by-side bar graphs are also useful for comparing two or more sets of qualitative or categorical data. And this is where we're going to end, because in the next segment we're going to go and start talking about quantitative data. So in Part 7 we'll be talking about quantitative data.